Kareem must not get the clap now, okay?
I'm used to that. I probably wouldn't get attacked from this anyway, so don't worry.
Christy.
I think the best way to respond to the rise of the far right is by trying to understand the appeal of these movements to ordinary people. I think when you look at the likes of Geert Wilders and these types, undoubtedly, if you just listen to their rhetoric, a huge part of their appeal is their willingness to criticize Islamism and to highlight the genuine problems with Muslim integration, however crude or sinister their approach may be. I think people are increasingly fed up with being accused of racism or xenophobia for talking about these issues. They resent the nonsense charge of Islamophobia, which conflates criticism of Islam with anti-Muslim bigotry, two very different things. They're concerned about the development of Muslim-only neighborhoods, where self-imposed community leaders make it their business to make non-Muslims feel unwelcome and to create a safe haven for extremism. They're worried about the growth of Wahhabi mosques and schools, where children and young adults are taught to establish the Islamic State and to regard the Christians and Jews as their enemies. They're appalled by the proliferation of Muslim grooming gangs who rape non-Muslim women, with victims often being completely ignored by the police, who don't want to be seen as racist. These are all legitimate concerns, so when the left dismisses them, people are naturally drawn to the far right. When the left refuses to take a principled stance against Islamic fascism, when we hesitate to defend the Enlightenment values that make a society possible, reason, humanism, universalism, then it falls to the right to take up that mantle, even if those groups have nothing to do with the Enlightenment, but rather use it as a cover for racist bigotry. I'm going to return to the issue of fascism just for 1 minute, because at one of the last branch meetings, I was told by a few people in the Socialist Party that I shouldn't equate Islamism with fascism, that there's this fundamental difference between the two. Well, I don't see it. I mean, I could go on for hours about the similarities between them. Both movements are based on a cult of death that despises the intellect. Both are bitterly nostalgic for past empires and seek to restore them through violence and the expulsion of undesirables. Both are chronically infected with anti-Semitic paranoia. Both are inclined to leader worship and to stressing the power of one great book. Both have a commitment to sexual repression and to subordination of the female. Both despise art and literature as symptoms of degeneracy. I could keep going with all this, but I think it'd be better to offer a way forward. So here's what I propose. If the left needs the help of ex-Muslims, liberal Muslims, and Ahmadiyya Muslims in combating Islamism, I think it does, then that's a good starting point. We are more than willing to help. But let's do it sooner rather than later, because the right seems to be growing exponentially, meaning we don't have a whole lot of time. Thanks.